Good morning, everyone. Day 6 of the US Open is upon us. It's the first Saturday of the Open. I think a lot of tennis fans look forward to this Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the Labor Day long weekend here in North America. And you get to see, this is where you get to see the full stadiums at the US Open. You sort of sense that the first 5 days are a build up to the long weekend. The ruckus atmosphere on this long weekend is absolutely fantastic, and you get to see lots of matches. And in turn, because of the atmosphere on these 3 days, there's also sometimes a likeliness of an upset when the crowd starts rooting for an underdog. You might have a windy day in between. All sorts of circumstances come together to make these 3 days some of the most exciting at the US Open. That is, of course, before the semifinals and the final. So before I start on day 6, day 5 was a bit underwhelming when you compare it to the drama of the first 4 days. On the men's side, there was only one five-setter, Lucas Pouille booking his place in the fourth round after he came through against Roger Batista Agut. And then in the women's side, there were a couple of three-setters. The biggest drama, of course, was Madison Keys against Naomi Osaka. I totally didn't see this match. I thought Madison would win this match easily, but she was on the brink of defeat in the third set when she was 5-2 down. But she fought back incredibly to take the match in a third set tiebreak. There was a lot of excitement around that. But as the day wore on, the matches started becoming shorter. The night session was a bit of a real anticlimax. Rafael Nadal was supreme in his win over Andrei Kuznetsov. And the game that I talked about yesterday, Angelique Kerber versus Cici Bellis, I guess an anticlimax would be an understatement, guys, because she thrashed the teenager 6-1. 6-1. So, what's on the docket for day 6, Saturday, the first Saturday of the 2016 US Open? Let's take a look. I've picked 4 matches to keep an eye out for today. And surprisingly, I actually don't think Arthur Ashe Stadium has the best pick of matches, but I'll be happy to be proven wrong. All I want is some exciting tennis. So, if those matches do turn out to be better than I expected, then hey, we're all the winners, right? So, here are the matches I've picked for today. The first one is a match between seeds. Carla Suárez Navarro versus Elena Vesnina. Vesnina, many of you may remember, reached the semifinals at Wimbledon this year. It was a really good achievement. And Carla Suárez Navarro is sort of this perennial quarterfinalist. It feels like every other Grand Slam, she reaches a fourth round or the quarterfinal. At this stage of the tournament, I think Carla has more experience and she has more experience of coming through this. So I'll give her the edge. But that being said, Vesnina is a very, very tough competitor. And I think she'll give Carla a good match. So I'll go with Carla, but we shouldn't be surprised if an upset took place in this match. The next match I want to talk about is also on Louis Armstrong. Daniel Evans versus Stan Wawrinka. This is a great story for Britain. Now, Kyle Edmonds made the fourth round. Andy Murray is most likely also going to make the fourth round. So can Britain have 3 people in the fourth round? I think the fact that they've had 3 men's in the third round already is a huge success story for their tennis program. Daniel Evans actually reached this round a couple of years ago as well. That's when he first came to prominence, and he seems to be building some kind of consistency in his singles performances. That being said, Wawrinka is playing some supreme tennis. He's won both his first 2 matches in straight sets, but the Swiss is capable. Unlike the other big 4, the Swiss is capable of switching off even against opponents he should win against. For example, in the second round against the Italian qualifier, the name skips me, he was 5-1 down in the second set. If Wawrinka drops his level against Evans, Evans is a much more dangerous opponent who would easily nick a set or maybe even 2. So I'm going with Wawrinka in this match. Wawrinka just has too much experience and he has so much explosive firepower, but he is culpable of the mood swings, the letting down. And for that reason, I say, guys, this might be a match to watch. So Stan Wawrinka versus Daniel Evans. Another ladies' match between 2 seeds, the 10th seed and the 7th seed, Karolina Pliskova versus Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. Now, Anastasia came through Kristina Mladenovic in the last round, and it was a classic. It was a really good match. Lots of long rallies, seesaw action, momentum kept shifting, and Pavlyuchenkova held her nerve to come through in that match. But the thing is, did it take a lot from her? Because it was very taxing physically. And now she's going up against what many people consider the dark horse. Pliskova, after all, won Cincinnati. She thrashed Angelique Kerber in the final of Cincinnati. And she's very unique in the women's game in the sense that she's actually not got a very, what you would say, an obviously physical frame, but she can generate a lot of power with her spin and sort of whippy forehands. So she's a very dangerous opponent, and I think she's a favorite. She's played well in the first two rounds. She had a bit of a hiccup against Montserrat Gonzalez, a Paraguayan, in the second set of the second round, but I think she has enough in her game to really cause some serious trouble. So I expect her to be the clear favorite in this match. She also has a good head-to-head against Pavlyuchenkova, but Pavlyuchenkova showed a lot of fight in the second round. So the question is, will we see more fight from her in the third round as well? So I'm backing Pliskova in two, maybe one comfortable set and one tough set. And the last match that I'm looking forward to, well, it's not the last match on the schedule. It's sort of mid-afternoon on Louis Armstrong, is Juan Martín del Potro versus David Ferrer. These both haven't played against each other since 2013, and Ferrer actually leads the head-to-head 6-3. But in 2013, when they played at Wimbledon, Juan Martín del Potro won in straight sets. Now, Ferrer is coming on the back of an exhausting five-setter against Fabio Fognini. It was a really long match. It was the last match to finish on day 4 around 12:30, almost 1. So does he have the energy left? Now, the thing with Ferrer is I don't think physical fatigue affects this guy. He can just run non-stop, even if he has to play 5-hour matches 7 days back to back. This guy can do it. But Juan Martín del Potro's got the explosive power. He's got the bigger weapons. And he's playing really well. I expected him to face plenty of challenges against Steve Johnson, but he swapped him in straight sets. So I think Juan Martín is coming in the right form, and I'm just going to give it to him. I'm expecting a tough four-setter, and I'm expecting Ferrer to maybe push Juan Martín more on his backhand. But if Juan Martín gets in a rhythm, I'm expecting Del Potro to dominate this match. So I'm expecting at least 4 sets in really what should be a classic with lots of good rallies and lots of fantastic winners. So those are my picks for day 6. Day 7 sees a beginning of the round of 16, and that's where things get serious. So I'm going to break down each and every match starting tomorrow. But for day 6, those are my 4 picks. Hope all of you enjoy a fantastic day of tennis at the US Open.